Now it is time to begin painting your spiral tree.
Now, when you have finished drawing your tree, you will now need to practice painting it. For the practice, we're going to use green paint and we're going to use a brush that looks like this. This is a nice brush because it has a nice pointy tip, and that tip is going to be very handy. Now, the first thing you need to do is simply paint the trunk shape. Of course, when we're painting, we need to take our time and do our best work, because on any project, but especially a contest project, you want to do your very best craftsmanship, because no sloppy artwork ever wins a contest. Painting in this shape would be pretty simple though. When it comes time to do the branches, we're basically going to be just outlining the lines that we drew with our pencil. A paintbrush will give you a pretty thick line, and that's good because these are branches of a tree. This paintbrush, I mentioned the pointy tip, will be good for the ends of the branches, which we want to be a little skinnier than the branch. All the branches, all the limbs, all the spirals on this project, we want them to be nice and smooth looking. Of course, you're going to take your time. You're going to always be getting new paint on your brush, because when your brush runs out of paint, it looks a little faded out and it starts to look a little rough. You'll notice that I do not always start at the end of the branch. There is no rule in painting that says you have to start at the end of a branch and go all the way to the other end. I feel like I paint better if I pick a spot where I'm going to feel more comfortable. Sometimes it's the middle, sometimes it's the inside of the spiral. You have to do what makes you feel comfortable, because that will make your work neater. See right there? I just started in the middle. Now I'll go back and get the part I didn't get before. One thing you want to avoid is painting like this. Stroke, stroke, stroke. You can tell the difference between these branches that are nice and smooth and this branch which is starting to look a little rough and bumpy. You do want to try to paint with long, smooth lines. And you'll get better. The more you do it, the more you practice, the better you will be. Notice where I am holding the brush. I am holding the brush clear back here. If I hold my brush like a pencil, my hand is going to be in the way, and I'm going to always be rubbing my hand over my wet paint, and it's going to make it smear. So back up a little bit. Keep it loose. This should feel really smooth, relaxing, and calming. If you have a line that doesn't quite look right, you can use your paint and go back over it. When you're done painting, you might decide you have enough room to add a couple more, and that's fine. You're the artist. If you think you have space for another branch or two, just add it right on. Now, even though this is a practice tree, I want you to paint the whole thing, because painting with a brush, tracing on lines, and especially making curved lines like spirals can be a little bit tricky. And for your contest picture to be the very best that it can be, you're going to need to practice on every single line.